What's going on, everybody? It's another Tuesday. Octavia's here, as you can see, in her festive Eagles attire. Uh, Cardell's here as well.
He didn't want to be close to me.
I'm Wilson. I don't either. I'm happy I got the desk here. But we're going to let you have your moment, so it's all good. But it was great to start the show. Tonight's show with some highlights from last night's game at College Park. Maryland Terrapins took on the Ohio State Buckeyes. They've struggled with them since Kelsey Mitchell's been enrolled in that program the past couple years in Big Ten play. Even with all the success Maryland's had, winning a couple conference championships or whatnot, Ohio State has been their Achilles heel. They've developed somewhat of a little rivalry past few years. Maryland, they got a chance to fight back last night, and they did. Major credit goes to Eliana Krishniaki. She really showed out, got out to a great start last night. And then Kyla Charles closed the door on Ohio State. She had 22 second-half points. They combined for 58 points. It was just a really good showing. They did a great job defensively, and they were able to hold Kelsey Mitchell and company, quite a few points under their normal season total. Both of those teams lead the Big Ten in scoring per game. So it was probably the best Maryland's looked since they lost Blair Watson a couple weeks ago. So from one dominant win to another, Cardell, I know you want to talk a little bit about the Largo girls.
Yeah, the boys and the girls. Largo boys, they played the defending 1A Maryland State champs, Fairmont Heights. And, they fell. Largo fell, unfortunately. Fairmont Heights is led by two dominant seniors who, to me, are two of the best players in, Maryland, regardless of public or private school. Darren Lucas White and Yolanda Reed, they combined for 34. The Hornets 56 points in the win over Largo. Largo, big man Devontae, he had about 18 points, but it just wasn't enough. At first, it was kind of close, but once Fairmont started pressing them and forcing them to make quick decisions, they started turning the ball over, not finishing, fouling, trying to get back once they turned the ball over, and Fairmont Heights just basically took them apart and walked out with the victory. They're very loaded to be, for public school, especially these days. It seems like private schools just wipe the talent pool out before they even get to high school. But I like what they're doing at Fairmont. They've developed players through the years to the point where, they got a good mix of young players coming up behind and seniors that's doing their thing right now. And I expect them to have, another strong run this year in the playoffs to try to, make it back to back. And then as for the girls, I've been hearing about this for years, by our mutual friend Robert Pettis. So I finally made my way out there. And the first game I saw was against, unfortunately, my alma mater, Friendly. And it was about as ugly as it can get. They beat Friendly 78-9.
Oh, that's the picture you posted.
Yeah.
Okay.
They beat them 78-9. I walked in the gym late because I was in traffic, and I was rushing, getting there. First quarter, they already down 31-0. Yeah. It was pretty much.
When did they score? Like their first point?
It was probably a free throw.
End of the second quarter. So I don't know, man. It was bad. It was bad when the coach is like, you just sitting there, you just watching. It's like, I'm not even gonna get stressed. I think he got him one time. They were just overmatched. Even with Largo, coach calling off the doors, like, move the ball. Mm-hmm. It was a running clock. That's just still, if she would have said, nah, keep going at them, it'd have been well over 100. It was that bad. But the second game I saw them play this weekend was against then ranked number 5 Herndon, and that was more of a matchup. They actually beat Herndon 70-47. Their defense was as elite as it can get. They wanted that game, and just talking to Rob and the assistant coach, they felt they needed that because they dropped a couple bad losses recently. And they see this as kind of waking the area back up, like, we here.
Right.
And, they got 2 big games coming up against Oxon Hill, who's undefeated, 14-0. Shout out to them. Mm-hmm. And then a big game against Riverdale Baptist, who, got a couple of McDonald All-Americans, going to Baylor and Maryland. So they got to handle a couple games before they get to that stage, but it's coming quickly. Senior guard Brianna Jones scored 16 points, who I do everything for, and Bethune-Cookman commit Tania White, she added 15. The thing I love about the Largo girls is a program. It's not just a team. You can just tell the coaching staff, they develop players. They actually care about them on and off the court. So it's like a sisterhood. All those girls come there, they go to, even when they go to college, they come back and support the younger girls coming through there. And you don't see that at public school no more. You just don't. It's just like, if you good enough, hopefully you make it to college. It's more like, I wish you well, we
Right.
offer you. But with them, they like, no, we're going to try to get you where you need to go. And, it starts with Tania White, my fault. Bethune-Cookman commit. She's literally all 5 positions in one. I've seen her countless times get the rebound, go coast to coast, crossing up the guards, finish, or drop the pass where they would score. She plays center. She can go out there guard the guards. She can, go mix it up with the forwards and stuff. She's just she's a total player. And she's out, in the backcourt with us, Brianna Jones, nasty, ferocious point guard, man. She mean. She dropping girls, and she just happened to might be the best shot blocker on the team. Even when she get beat, she recovers and gets blocked. I think against Herndon, she had about 5 blocks. As a point guard. Yeah, she's nasty in her own right. But they got some youngins coming up. Sophomore Vanessa Schwartzman, about 6 foot, sophomore forward, stretch the floor and shoot lights out. And then what may end up being the best player on the team in the long run is freshman point guard Alexia Hackett. She comes in and she just changes the whole pace. She presses 94 feet. She gets them to turn the ball over. She scores at will. I hear she runs track and I see it because she's too quick and agile. She just shakes girls all the time and she tough. So the head coach in Yana Ball, she definitely got something. We're going to have them on the guest coming soon next month, I think the 20th. So we're going to get more about them. But, I was impressed, man. I definitely expect to see them later in the season compete for a state championship.
All right, man. We look forward to having them in studio with us. So shouts to the Largo, both the boys and the girls, Maryland women's as well. Not a bad week and not a bad night for Maryland last night. But that's just the beginning of the show, man. We got so much to discuss. So thank you guys for tuning in. If you tuned in at the start of the show, thank you for just tuning in if you did. Oh, man. Octavia's coming up next again in her Eagles, where is going to provide. See, we don't get a football report next week, so that's cool. She's
I'm
gonna
sure I
talk
can come
about-
up with something.
Nah, we good. We should recap this past week's action and look ahead. You're watching the Focus TV. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Focus. Octavia, the floor is yours.
I'm just saying, I'm just getting so much grief today, and I don't understand why.
Let the record show. I've been out of this.
You
so
have, and I appreciate that.
Go on.
So, we're going to talk about the games now. So, if you don't know, I don't know how, the NFC Championship game and the AFC Championship game was this past weekend. Going to start in the AFC, you had the Jacksonville Jaguars making it to the big game versus the Patriots. No surprise there. So, Tom Brady is Tom Brady. He was 26 of 38, 290 yards and 2 touchdowns. Deion Lewis had 9 carries, 34 yards. James White had 3 carries for 4 yards, but 1 touchdown. And Brandon Cooks, 6 receptions, 100 yards. Danny Amendola, 7 receptions, 84 yards, and 2 touchdowns. On to Jacksonville. Blake Bortles was 23 of 36, 293 yards, 1 touchdown. Leonard Fournette had 24 carries, 76 yards, 1 touchdown. And Allen Hurns was 6 receptions, 80 yards, and no touchdowns. So this game was a lot of hype behind the game, of course, from all of the talk through last week. Jalen Ramsey coming out, pretty much stamping that they were going to win. And it looked like it early on. They were taking it to them for a majority of the game, which I feel like that was a consensus. A lot of people knew that Jacksonville would be very, very physical. Their defense was amazing for a little over 3 quarters. And then Tom became terrific in the fourth quarter. With maybe like 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter, they were down like 20-10. And out of nowhere, Tom came back, threw 2 touchdowns to Danny Amendola, and that was the end of that. To me, it was a great game. It was a lot of hype behind it. Like I said, it gave you something to watch, but I just feel like at the end of the day, it's Tom and it's Gronk. And, to me as well, Danny Amendola stepped up a lot. He hasn't been that involved in the game for majority of the season. Most of the targets go to like Cooks and things like that and Gronk. But he stepped up. Everybody was talking about this whole cut on Brady's hand. Gronk got knocked out of the game at the end of the second quarter, so he didn't even play in the second half. So Amendola really did have to step up. And he did. He showed he's a vet. He's been here. He's been with Tom for a while. And they're going to another Super Bowl. Like they went last year, guys, and they are going again. To me, for Jacksonville, there's still going to be questions around, are they really going to keep Blake Bortles? Although he did have a good year, he got them there, not alone, but he did, play well enough for them to get there. But at the end, I still feel like the biggest thing for them is he going to be consistent, and can he actually score them points when they need to? And that wasn't the case this year. So definitely looking forward to see how Jacksonville bounces back next year, because they still have, like I said, a great defense. They have a lot of good pieces on their offensive side as well. Leonard Fournette being a rookie this year, coming in and playing as well as he did. Things are looking up for them, especially in Jacksonville. So that's a lot to look forward to for them. On to the second game, and all I hear is sighs, and I don't understand why. So, NFC Championship game against you have the Minnesota Vikings versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Score was 38-7. Case Keenum ended up with 28 of 48, 28 passes out of 48, 271 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. McKinnon was 10 carries for 40 yards. Latavius Murray had 6 carries for 18 yards. And McKinnon also led in receptions, 11 receptions for 86 yards. Stephon Diggs had 8 receptions for 70 yards. And on the Eagles side, Nick Foles was 26 of 33, 352 yards, 3 touchdowns. Ajayi had 18 carries, 73 yards. Blount had 6 carries for 21 yards and 1 touchdown. And Zach Ertz, 8 receptions, 93 yards. Alshon Jeffrey, 5 receptions for 85 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Torrey Smith, 5 receptions, 69 yards and 1 touchdown. What can I say about this game? without sounding biased. I mean, to be completely honest, it was an overall just demolish of the game. To be completely honest, I was not expecting that. And for majority of the game, I still was kind of like, all right, this isn't really real. With the Vikings coming in as the favorites again, and the Philadelphia Eagles were the underdogs again. And with their defense being number one statistically in the NFL this year, I was expecting a very, very close game, especially with everybody knows Carson Wentz is out, Nick Foles is the backup. With him still, in my opinion, getting acclimated to the system, still getting reps in with the wide receivers and figuring out play calling and everything, I was not expecting this. I'm pretty sure everybody that was watching the game wasn't expecting that either. But it was just an all-around, just a great game from all aspects of the team. Defense held up great the entire time. Fletcher Cox was an animal like he's been all year. All of the linebackers, all of the secondary, because to me the secondary was the weakest on the defense this year. Those were that was the part of the defense that had the most issues. They did get beat on a lot of double moves in the last couple of games. So you can see that they rallied around each other and really, held it together. For the Vikings, it was still, to me, for them to get there with Case Keenum shows a lot. To me, it does still say that their defense, in my opinion, carried them for most of it. But Case Keenum did a lot of work throughout this year, coming off as a backup, not knowing if he's going to play every week when Teddy Bridgewater comes back, Sam Bradford comes back, keeping his head in the game and actually getting them to this point. I don't know what happened, to be completely honest. I'm pretty sure they're all still scratching their heads as well. Thielen has been a key player in their system this entire year. He was kind of ghost this entire game. And even Stephon Diggs coming off of the, great catch and walk-off touchdown that he had last week. It just didn't go as well this week for them. I still believe that because they have a great defense, they'll still be back next year. I still believe that they have a great team. I still think that just like Jacksonville, they have the same questions. Is Case Keenum actually going to stay and be their starting quarterback next year? To be honest, I don't think so. It depends on what they decide to do, how they feel as the offseason progresses. And so that leads us to the championship. The Super Bowl will be next, not this Sunday coming up, the Sunday after. I believe it's the 4th, February 4th, in Minnesota. To me, it's just going to be a toss-up. I'm trying to be not biased. Of course, like I said, it's Tom Brady. You can never count him out ever. Gronk is going to have the rest of this week and next week to clear concussion protocol, so I'm pretty sure he'll be back and he'll be ready to go. At this point, for the Eagles, I just think it's a team effort. Like, they have to play as a team. Like, for the Patriots, I feel like, not saying that they don't play as a team, but they have those star players that you can lean on when the going gets tough. Like, just what they went through this past weekend. Danny Amendola steps up when he needs to. Like, they have those go-to players. I believe the Eagles do too, but I still feel like it's a big team effort for them. So it's going to be interesting. Of course, you guys know who I want to win.
No, who's going to win? Not about one. Who's going to win?
Oh, who's going to win? We're going to win.
Oh, that's all. What's going to be the score? Put it on wax. Come on.
It's going to be a score. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, not like super low. I believe probably like 21-17-ish. Like, it's going to be a tight game. I don't see it being a blowout on either side. So I think it's going to be a really well-fought game. I just feel like how Jacksonville's defense was, for, like I said, majority of the game, as long as the Eagles' defense can be that aggressive and be that, ferocious and go after him, he doesn't do well against teams that go after him that hard like that. It's just like Jacksonville did. So I feel like our linebackers have to, tune in. Chris Long has been amazing coming in. He's been making key plays throughout the playoffs. So I'm looking forward to him, Driggs, Fletcher Cox, like I said, Vinny Curry, Brandon Graham, all of those players. So it's going to be a great game.
Domo, who you got winning?
Oh, man.
Why would we even ask that? It's not even relevant at this point. And let me just go ahead and say this. I know it's going to be so much talk over these 2 weeks, and that's fine. I'm completely okay with it. I am a rational Eagles fan. I will say that I am a rational Eagles fan, which is why I haven't talked that much trash all year. And I have not, and I won't do that because I'm gonna be completely honest. No, if you're a real Eagles fan, you did not see this coming. There's no way you did not see this coming. With Torrey Smith just coming, Alshon Jeffrey just coming. You know, I'm talking about like from the beginning of the year with everybody that we picked up. When we picked these people up, I was like, okay, you know, maybe blind. Yeah, you know, what I'm saying like. We like, okay, we get a little bit more pieces in there because the year before we didn't have anything. So I'm thinking slow progression. You know, I was good with winning the NFC East. We made the playoffs.
Light work, Domo. NFC light work.
Yeah, we're light. We're light. But, you know, like I said, if you're a real Eagles fan, like you knew, you did not see this coming. But, you know, it's a great feeling to finally see something like this for being an Eagles fan. Like I said, you know, a lot of people talk, y'all haven't won no Super Bowls. I know that's still going to be the talk around town. And even if we do win, y'all only got one. I don't want to hear it. You know, when's the last time the Eagles been in the Super Bowl? 2005. The teams you guys speak of, the last time they, you know, were in a Super Bowl, it's been almost 20 years. So let's go ahead and let that go for a while. You know, let's go ahead and let's let that go and just let me have my moment. That's all I'm saying. Let us have our moment. Let us be excited. Let us, you know, enjoy the festivities.
Hey, Cardell gotta stop.
And let us just live. That's all I'm saying, you know. And I'll be remiss if I didn't say happy birthday to my mom. Today's my mom's birthday, so I have to say happy birthday to her.
Happy birthday, happy birthday.
But yeah, fly Eagles fly.
Okay. All right, man. So before we go to break, DC United's been pretty busy. Last week was the MLS draft. The first and second rounds were on Friday, and then they do the third and fourth rounds a couple of days later via conference call. So DC United held the third overall pick. We made the trip up to Philly. It's always fun in the draft. Fans are nuts. Soccer fans are nuts as in. It's crazy in the draft. They were yelling at each other. One side told the other side to go back to New Jersey and a chant. It was wonderful. But in the first round, DC United elected to trade their pick. They traded their pick for the NBA version of cash considerations. They wanted some money. They got $200,000 for it. $100,000 was for general allocation money. The other 100 was for targeted allocation monies. In the fourth round, they did draft two players. The first being Afonso Pinheiro from University of Albany. He's a 6'2" forward, a position of need for DC United. And the second one was Rafael Andrade Santos from VCU, 5'7", 140-pound midfielder. Then today, again, I told you DC United's been pretty busy. Today, they acquired $200,000 more in allocation monies. Again, this is 100 of it is this year in general allocated money and $100K next year in targeted allocation. They also acquired a second-round draft pick in next year's. The second-round pick is in the 2020 MLS Super Draft, and they acquired a 2018 international roster spot, which the international roster spot probably makes sense if you think about why they're collecting these bags of money right now. Probably for a player to fit that slot. All right, then the person that they traded was Eric Williamson. He's currently at the University of Maryland. He was a homegrown product, so he's been in DC United's youth academy. They traded him to Portland. They also, and the sweetest part of this is they also will receive any future transfer fee. So if any team comes to Portland and wants to, they want to take Eric Williamson on to loan him out, DC United gets half of that fee. Mm-hmm. So again, it's about money. They're trying to add, Coach was very adamant about adding players to this system, to this roster up in Philly this weekend. He made it clear that they got some moves up their sleeves. We'll see what happens. Training camp starts this week. So the MLS season is already back around. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back here on The Focus, we got Wizards, and we're going to do an All-Stars draft.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Welcome back. Welcome back. We can't do any of these shows without our weekly Wizards moment. I really wish y'all could hear what happens during the breaks, but you know,
I don't.
one day, yeah, maybe not, maybe not. We have fun here. So the Washington Wizards, I'm sure everybody knows they went to Dallas last night, got smacked. Then Cardell hit me up this morning. I was being a good domestic person, trying to go do some grocery shopping and stuff.
I needed it then.
You know, he hit me. This is the other part that I wish you guys could hear some of this, but then we wouldn't have lives and y'all don't need to hear everything. But he hit me to let me know what was going on because I hadn't been around TV. Obviously, I'm sure you guys heard a lot about what was said this morning by the Washington Wizards on a national syndicated program on a certain network. So,
For those who haven't heard.
for those who haven't heard, apparently nobody here likes John Wall and Bradley Beal in our Wizards locker room. Is apparently what was allegedly shared.
Oh, no.
Courtesy of sources, of course. But
Who are
I
these
felt like it was,
sources?
I felt like we should go ahead and bring this up
Could be his
during the Wizard
ex-girlfriend
Woes.
from high school.
It could be anybody. All we're simply saying is, for the two people who did, who shared their sources and whatnot, we have not seen those two people in any of the games that we've attended this year. And we're just simply saying that sometimes, there's sometimes a disconnect between local and national media, and that sometimes everybody shouldn't be so quick to believe everything that they hear, especially if sometimes those people aren't necessarily in the building and around. We've heard story this year, John brought everybody on the team rollies this year. So
How could you not like him,
I
bruh?
don't know, I don't know. Also, Cardell was showing me this tonight when they got named to the All-Star team as reserves. Quite an outpouring of love from teammates who allegedly talk behind their back and don't like either one of them. So the Wizards have a lot of issues. I don't think too many of them are really off the court. I think they're kind of the same issues we've been hinting at almost all year. The one thing I will say is we're interested to see if there is going to be a move made to kind of shake things up, because if it just feels like they're in this rut, and maybe not that needs to be done, but something has to be done to get them, finally going. We're pretty much here at the All-Star break. They have yet to reach their potential as a team. They're one of the most talented teams in the Eastern Conference, and yet you have losses like last night that happen far too often. So, Cardell, anything you want to chime in before we move on to this draft?
No, you pretty much said it, man. Congrats to them for being the All-Stars. John Wall, I think, is his fourth or fifth, and Beal is his first. I kind of hope this, if they don't make a move, I kind of hope this kind of put everything back in sync. You're validated now, so you don't have to hoop for wins now. You see what I'm saying? And it's not just them, everybody. Y'all need you could just tell there's a lot of hidden agendas going on when they play. Certain guys trying to prove they should be starting over other guys. Certain guys, want a real opportunity to do what they do and all that. Other guys jealous of maybe the green light other guys got. Man, enough of that, man, because, it's crunch time. Everybody know when they hit All-Star break, you either get it done or you're going to be in the lottery. And if it's a lottery bound, your job ain't safe. You know what I'm saying? You can be relocated very quickly, you know what I'm saying, if you're not out of the league. So I want them to put all that aside and just really go to make them run for it, because, the East is to be had, man.
Yeah.
Seriously.
It's up for grabs right now.
And they proven in the early season they rumbled with the Warriors with the best of them. Beat the heck out of Houston. The same, that was one of their best games defensively. Wall literally locked up James Harden.
And
you see what I'm saying? So you proven you could play with the best teams in the league. Now it's just trying to be more consistent so you can get it done, because you don't want to be one of them old players down the line, man. I remember the 27-18 team, and we had a good chance, man. Nobody want to hear that. Specials on NBA TV and all that shit. Nobody want to hear that, man. Take advantage of it right now.
Got to, man, and that's the most frustrating part about it, and it's frustrated the heck out of both of us, and I'm sure many Wizards fans, but just from a coverage standpoint, it's kind of like you can see how special this group can be in times, and it's just like they got to get to that place where they got to develop those championship type habits to go forward. And we hear all the time in sports, sometimes you got to get through a little bit of adversity before you get to where you want to go. So it's maybe the first half of the season, some of this adversity, especially with some of the outside noise. If this ends up, like you said, bringing them together to go forward, then, so be it. But someone got to go. It's literally go time. It's All-Star break. Teams that have been there before, they're getting ready to flip the switch. They know what time it is. It's time to separate. And in the East right now, you got an opportunity to make – it's up for grabs, man. Again, it is up for grabs. That being said, there's a new All-Star format in the NBFA. in the association, they're doing things a little bit differently this year. At 7 p.m., probably an hour before tonight's show, they went ahead and announced the reserves. We got the pool of players. So we let Octavia, choose. LeBron and Steph are the captains. So we're going to pick teams here. Domo, come on over. We're going to do this together.
Hey, again, can I show your face? Don't be scared.
No, over here.
You gotta
Come
go
over this
Yeah,
side.
you're not on our team.
Okay.
Good. We don't do race games over so I can play.
You can come over here. We're going to leave the mic right here. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to let you guys pick first. Then we'll pick second.
Okay.
That makes sense because Steph is, champ.
Yeah.
We're going to go first. Their team Steph. We're team LeBron. Congratulations again to all the players that were named reserves. We're going to go ahead and start our player pool. So y'all's first pick. And I just need like that final answer. So y'all going to talk, go amongst each other in
No
the first
brainer,
pick.
yeah. Okay, you go.
Oh, yeah, we starting with KD. We're going to go ahead and take him.
You gotta pick our teammate, man. It be
Yeah.
drama, y'all. That's what y'all trying to do.
We ain't trying to have no conflict in the locker
Hey.
room.
Y'all took KD.
Yeah, he ours.
I'm down with Giannis. Where you going?
Giannis is cool.
You go
I like
with
Giannis.
Giannis?
Yeah, I like
Giannis?
Giannis.
We're going with Giannis.
All right. I'm down.
Embiid.
All right, so what you want to do with that?
Embiid, what you thinking?
We got Boogie, AD. What you want to do?
I like Boogie.
You like Boogie.
I like
Oh.
I kinda-
Over 8. Damn.
I kind of like AD.
Yeah.
AD. You can't go wrong with either one.
You can.
No, wait.
You go AD.
We can go AD? Okay, we can go AD.
You
Okay.
got Embiid.
Appreciate it. All right, you guys. See how they get to pick in silence? We got to do ours over the mic.
You go.
we going to take James Harden.
About to beat the bricks off y'all, boy. I'm trying to tell you,
I'd be
man.
shooting the lights. I was like,
Then y'all gonna be blaming teammates for y'all ill. Oh my bad. Pow pow pow.
You want Russ
I
there?
like Russ. Put a dog. You gotta have a dog.
yeah, you got him and KD got to be separate. That's cool.
I like it.
Okay.
Team Petty, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
All right. Go ahead.
So we're going to take Kyrie.
I figured.
And we are Team Bron, right?
Yeah, so they got to be separate.
All right, they took Kyrie.
I like Posey.
You like Porzingis?
I like Posey.
Shout out to Porzingis.
What you
Oh,
think?
that's still your mob too now? or
I still
what?
like him.
Um,
Jeez.
That's a lot of left.
No lie. I kind of want to get Clay so they don't end up together.
We
You
can
go
do that.
between the two.
I don't want to give
Which
them
one?
Clay with Steph and KD already.
Hmm.
Right.
That's kind of disturbing.
I like it.
Go ahead.
Who y'all pick?
We took Clay Thompson.
Oh, all right.
What you say?
Oh, wait, you said between who?
I know they probably taste that. Oh, the first disagreement.
All
Okay.
right. You gonna take Carl Anthony Towns?
I already knew. Oh man! All right, so y'all took Cat already.
Mm-hmm.
Man, so what do you want to do? You want to do your man Stats here? Or you want to get Boogie?
Oh, Boogie's still on the
Or
board?
actually, do you want to get Cat?
They have Cat.
We just pick
Oh,
Cat.
my bad. Y'all
So
just
I
took
like
Cat.
Boogie.
You like Boogie?
I like Boogie with Big Bron.
I'll take Boogie with you. I have Braun play point guard out here with Giannis.
Shooter. Got AD.
Can you keep the teams?
Okay.
All right, we going to take Draymond.
Yeah, I already know. That hurt. That one hurt. That hurt me deeply. There's a part of me that hurt.
We got 3 of the 4. It's cool.
It's petty.
What you think?
Honestly,
I like DeRozan, honestly. What you think? I like that. We can do that.
we taking John
Between
Wall.
those
Okay.
two. Showtime. LeBron, the next wizard. Mike, I'm putting that down.
All right. LaMarcus Aldridge.
It's a boring pick.
You want to go
Man, you
Stats?
ain't
man?
killing. Stop
Yeah, we
playing.
can do that.
Go Stats?
It's a winning pick.
We're going with her old team.
Who?
Her old team's favorite
K-
player, KP.
KP.
Okay.
Going with Stats. This is fun. I don't know who team gonna win though.
I'm just saying we might need some shooting. That's all.
That's
You
Cause we got so many bigs kicking it out.
That's what they messed up on.
All
Nah.
right, I'm
I
down.
mean, there's still people out
I'm-
there.
Dame Dollar.
Yeah.
Shout out to Dame too.
I think I want to go DeMar. Just
I
the
like
way he
DeMar.
been acting up.
In the All-Star game, you want that showtime.
I just want DeMar for that mid-range.
We put Draymond on him, get in his head. He gonna get
Okay,
mad in
cool.
one fight. He all good.
That's the same for everybody on your team.
Nah, we hoop.
We level-headed
We
over
hoop.
here.
Okay,
Who?
my bad.
Embiid talking trash. Trust the process. It's over. Hey,
Y'all
we
just barely
good.
speak. We good.
Hey,
Go ahead. Go ahead. So y'all took.
all he gotta do,
DeMar.
all he gotta do is say, "You got your coach fired." It's over for him. He gonna be down. Come on.
Petty, man.
Hey,
I like it though.
all
I
the
like
fact we
it.
about to go at
I
it.
Y'all
like
that
it.
stick, man. Y'all petty. Oh my goodness. Y'all too petty, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like extremely, extremely petty.
We gonna take Brad.
You said Brad?
Mm-hmm.
Shooting, we need some shooters. You
Yeah,
know,
they
kick it
definitely
out.
needed some shooting. I definitely.
What you mean, definitely? We got KD and Harden and Kyrie. God damn.
And Steph. Don't
Towns and stuff. Come on.
don't forget Steph is the captain.
Hold on, calm down, relax.
It's over.
Woosah, hey, Woosah real quick. Woosah real quick. You know, everybody in Cleveland hates. I'm going with Kevin Love, man. Everybody hating on my man K Love real
Okay.
quick.
I ain't want him no way.
What you mean? The hate.
All right.
Piling on my man Kevin Love.
Got two more spots.
Who's left? So you got one.
Hey, that's tough, man. Some people ain't get picked yet. My bad.
Jim, he's left. He's left.
Oladipo, Horford. Jimmy.
Oh,
You want to go, Jimmy?
yeah,
Jimmy
yeah.
Butler.
Jimmy
I
buckets.
figured. Okay. Go with Jimmy
Get with
Buckets.
Towns, man. Go ahead and get this W.
Right.
Y'all
Forgot
already
about
took.
that.
Y'all already took Brad. Yeah,
We sure
Yeah.
did.
Okay. Oladipo, man, show some love to Vic.
Okay.
Plus, we got like a whole bunch of bigs already. We need some other things that aren't bigs.
Did y'all take Porzingis yet?
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
So who's left?
currently on
I
our
think-
roster.
Kyle Lowry.
He's
Okay, so I
currently
think
safe
it's
on our
DeMar,
roster.
Kyle. Al.
I think Kyle, Al, and
DeMar.
DeMar's here.
Y'all got
It's just
DeMar.
Kyle
Okay.
and Al left.
Anybody took Russ?
Yeah.
Y'all
Okay.
did,
Yeah, we
didn't
took
y'all?
Russ.
Come on,
I
GM.
was like, unless you want
That's
to
why the
trade.
Redskins trash. Y'all don't even know who y'all be picking up, man. It's terrible out here. What's going on over here?
What is going on in the front office?
Make sure he's
Hey,
still
hey,
there.
real quick, we won 5 of those things. That's why we're writing stuff down. Good, I got it back.
All right. You know what? Let's get Al. Get somebody to do the dirty work. Al.
Horford.
Yep.
All right, I mean, Kyle's the last one, so I guess we gotta choose.
There you go.
That's it. So all right, so for Team Steph, aka Cardell and Octavia's team, we got Stephen Curry, Kevin Durant, JoJo Embiid, one James Harden, Kyrie Irving, one Cat. We have a Draymond Green, a LaMarcus Aldridge, a Damian Lillard, one Bradley Beal, one Jimmy Butler, and then Al Horford. For us,
That's a win.
for Team LeBron, hey, look, I hear y'all. For Team LeBron, we got that guy. We got a guy who gives them problems. We got Giannis. Don't make that face. You
Hey,
hold
shoot
on.
the three. Shoot the three.
You said shoot the three.
All we gotta do is say Jason Kidd when he shoots.
He gonna be sad.
Hey, the pettiness is crazy.
I'm
So we
going to
got
call my
Bron,
agents.
we got Giannis, we got Anthony Davis,
Okay.
Russell Westbrook, the other light skinned dude that y'all left out of y'all go to states.
He
trio.
talking about
Man,
leaving
we-
anyway. Everybody like he about to leave, go do him anyway. So hey,
Hey, look.
Hey.
You know all Bob Myers got to do? Get him a new dog. He
sometimes
good.
you gotta
He
go
good.
away from home and
3
grow up.
years.
He be all right.
We got Klay Thompson. We got Boogie. His BFF John Wall. We got
BFF.
her old favorite player KP,
The unicorn.
the unicorn. We got DeMar, who's been acting a plum fool this year.
I
We got
agree.
K Love, who everybody in Cleveland is ignoring. My man, super consistent. Don't be like that. He been there for them.
Was he sick or not? Like I'm playing. Go ahead.
Wow. Victor Oladipo. And we finish it off with Kyle Lowry. I
My
can't.
bad. I couldn't help it.
Hey,
look.
plus 10.
Wow.
Trash.
Hey, right.
Oh yeah, y'all ain't ready for that, dog.
Plus 10 Philly.
Just cause
Yeah.
I don't do it, don't mean I can't.
Attributes of Colorado.
We do it over here, man. We trying to get that W.
Hey, look, that was fun. We're anxious to see, the NBA's doing their privately. So we went ahead and did ours
They
on
trying.
Waxes here.
They trying to get them to televise it.
I mean, I want to see. Sometimes you need to know what your peers think of you. It's healthy competition.
Let the world know.
Let the world know. Put it on wax.
The world know.
The conversations I had in several group chats across the league. So we went ahead and did that in front of you guys. We definitely enjoyed it.
Yeah, notable people that got snubbed, they say. Chris Paul.
Look, man, we're not talking about snubs.
George.
Hey, look, we're not talking about snubs.
He missed
I'm
like
just
half
saying.
the first
I'm
half
just
of the
saying. This
season.
is what the other people are saying. It's not me.
All I'm saying is one of the things where you wouldn't be saying if you were in. So I won't hear about it. The only one who might have a legitimate gripe, I think, may have been Drummond a little bit, but even then, nah.
What's their record?
Like
Like
right,
ninth.
it's like real close to the
Ninth,
Knicks.
one game under 500.
That's why I said he might have been
yeah,
the only
we
one
ain't
that
worried about
had.
him.
But no, so definitely enjoyed that.
Just do it again.
Nah, we good, man. I would do it for Pro Bowl, but nobody watches that game. So.
Ooh, what? What is that?
Exactly. So Cardell, you got a couple questions for us, man? We got time for a couple questions.
Okay.
I'll get a couple quick rapid fire questions in.
On reported Patriots drama, Bob Kraft said everybody got to get their egos checked in. What are your thoughts, Eagle fan?
I hope nobody checks their ego. I don't know what to make of it. It could be a ploy. They good for that. Just trying to get some make people think it's some drama going on when it's not. But if it is real, I mean, I feel like the only person he would really be talking to is Belichick. That's just my opinion. I feel like, the whole situation with Garoppolo leaving and all of that hoopla that came up afterwards is the only thing that I can really think of. From the outside looking in, they seem to be a tight-knit group where you wouldn't think they have those issues, but, you never really know what's going on in the locker room.
No matter what you do, I still feel like Bill's leaving, so all that doesn't matter to me. Y'all might have one game left together, and that's just where I am on
Where
it.
he going? He won't retire?
I mean, just out of there.
Okay, a couple more questions that kind of tie together. Duke got a commitment from second-ranked Zion Williams.
Yeah.
Duke now has the top-ranked player, R.J. Barrett, Williams, third-ranked player, Cameron Reddish, and the 10th-ranked player who happens to be the top-ranked point guard in the country, Trey Jones, coming to campus next season. Has he basically snatched back the crown as the top coach in America, recruiting and X's and O's wise?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he probably slipped on the X's and O's for a minute. I'm not a big Duke fan, but you crazy to, feel that type of way. But a recruiting thing, yeah, everybody jumped on him. They got a good lead on him on this one and done thing. He understood it, did some research, and yeah, they're back. So, Kentucky, hope you enjoy being number one in recruiting class for a while.
Yeah, I agree. Just with everything you just said, that proves a lot, with all of those top tier players coming to Duke. I've been hearing Duke fans already stamping this year and next year. So, you never know.
Probably the after that too, right?
I guess the only thing I could possibly think of is just how are all of those players going to mesh together. You have a lot of top tier players that are probably used to having the ball in their hand and used to being that guy. So who's going to be the person that steps back and lets somebody else be that guy? But I still feel like, the coach is the person that's going to, get them there, just from, hearing, for example, Quinn talk about how influential he was in his life, you know that he has that type of mentality. So I'm pretty sure he could get to all of them and let them know, it's not about I, it's about we. So it's just, I'm interested to see how it's going to work out. But I mean, definitely they got the top 3 people in the nation. So I mean, you can't deny that at all.
Yeah, I think it's Kentucky fans. I'm sorry, BBN. Life's not over, but it is at the same time. All right, Cardell, last question of the night, sir.
I'm gonna go to the NBA, man. Reports are the Cavs team questioned Kevin Love's illness and kind of an explosive team meeting. What are your guys' thoughts? What do you think?
I'd say to you first.
I think they just picking on him. I feel like, and though I joked about it, yes, but I mean, who's to say he wasn't sick? That's my thing. Were you at my doctor's office? Did you see the thermometer when I took my temperature? Were you in the bathroom when I threw up? I just think at this point they're just so discombobulated that they're just looking for anything to talk about and anything to blame. Even though, like I said, I may not be the biggest Kevin Love fan, but like you said, he's been one of the most consistent players on the team this year. So I feel like if anybody has room to miss something due to an illness, it should be him. You know, he's been healthy. He hasn't been getting hurt. You know, he came back from that crazy injury he had. I think it was his shoulder like 2 years ago. He's been durable ever since. You know, he does a lot for them, and even coming out of his natural position and playing the 5 for a lot of time. You know, I think he does a lot, and I just think that was uncalled for them to question him like that. But I applaud him for standing up for himself. I mean, from the reports, they said that he stood up for himself and, you know, let them know like that wasn't the case. You know, I don't understand why they would think that. So I think to me, that's the underlying question. Like, why would y'all question that? Like, I feel like maybe something has transpired in the past to make them feel like that, but who knows?
I just think it's one of them things where it's kind of like all the energy is directed at the wrong place. And I think sometimes in some situations, some people, you know, you'll lash out at everybody else except the person you need to lash out at. And sometimes, you know, you gotta be careful when you get what you're given, you know? And I'm just gonna leave that at that for Cleveland. Like, that situation, everybody that's on that roster was there because somebody wanted them there. The situation you're in, y'all need to look in the mirror and figure it out. But lashing it out doesn't help solve anything. And, you know, and everybody, you know, I would ask everybody who was very quickly to jump on Kyrie's back for his decision to leave, just to sit back and maybe, you know, next time when something happens, maybe you should sit down and think a little bit more before jumping on somebody's case.
Man, I just think it's enough blame to go all around, from the top to the bottom. But like we all say, it starts with the leader. And the leader is LeBron James. You got to look at him. You know, a lot of this is stemming from, you know, certain things he may have navigated as far as, you know, like you said, personnel moves or, you know, roles. Like all the drama started, honestly, when, you know, D-Wade came in and just got the starting job, you know, threw JR off. That interrupted the, you know, the delicate balance and stuff like that. And honestly, Kevin Love should be the last person they look at. He's literally been their most consistent player. I know LeBron put up monster stats, but he's had some down games too. Kevin Love been steady. Kevin Love has won games.
Yep.
We've seen him straight up here in DC twice.
Went nuts.
So he's the one that keeps the Wizards from not winning. So what I'm saying is, you know, it starts with the leader. You can't accept all the praise when things going well. Then you know, and I like how he handled it professionally, saying I don't want to talk about it, but still, you kind of just distance yourself from all the drama when it's heat and everything like that. You should have been the first one standing up. Like, nah, he ain't the one to blame. I said you need to get a rhythm. JR, you need a jump shot. Iman, how about you get healthy and just step on the floor? Tristan, man, look, what do you averaging like 2 and 4? I ain't even trying to hear you. What, are you serious? You know, like, it's guys that need to step their own game up. And to me, I wouldn't even look at Tyronn Lue because look at the effort he's getting.
Yeah.
You know, these NBA players getting a lot of money. Why they got coach effort?
Shouldn't have to at all. Shouldn't have to at all. But we want to thank you guys for tuning in, man. We truly appreciate it. As always, get over to finestmagazine.com and MyMonoSports.com. We'll catch you next week or the week after on The Focus.